Next day, we went to Holland for another big race. So this was the last race of my trip, and we went all the way to Holland to sort of get a different experience. And this was another UCI race that the pros would be at that also had Masters category. It's called the Grand Prix Groenendaal. It's named after Richard Groenendaal, who's a famous racer from Holland, world champion and national champion. And that was our drive, a little longer, like hour and a half, all the way to Holland. And this was a really pro race. This is our Masters category with a great pro start line and everything, and this banner that they raise up as a gun goes off. So you can't jump the gun, it goes up on these poles at the start. And this one I really had to line up at the back. And these were all different riders. None of the Belgians go to Holland, and none of the Hollanders go to Belgium. I don't know who this guy is, but he's the current reigning national champ for Holland. And I worked up to the front pretty quickly, and this race was total snowpack. No mud, just 100% snowpack. And for me, that was great because they don't get snow much there, and I'm pretty used to it. And even though it's hard to ride on and really not ideal, I knew it would favor me. And I worked to the front and got with this guy and another guy. We rode together for a few laps, and then I attacked and got past them, and I just went as hard as I could, and I railed the corners, and I was running really low pressure at this race, probably like 20 pounds on Dugas Rhinos, and it was a lot of stuff like this, just these corners where if you could ride a little bit faster and sprint a little bit harder, that was the race right there, because there was no way to make up the time really. Like all the races there are no barriers, or very few. Maybe I only had barriers in one race out of 4. And in this one, the only dismount was a set of barriers, 1 set per lap, so no running whatsoever.
What about hills?
No hills. This race was a pancake flat. It was.
They had a flyover.
Yep. Yeah, there it is. When they want hills sometimes. So you get different courses, and they're not all technical. I mean, not all the courses there are technical. Some are and some aren't. It's like here, every race is different, and you can't categorically say their courses there are better or harder. They're not. They're just different. They're more professional and better laid out, but they're not necessarily harder, I wouldn't say, than here, because we got some crazy courses here too. But I won this race again, and it was great. It was a really pro deal, and the snow was my advantage. And they had a real pro podium here with the podium girls. And but the best part was Richard was there, and
Fish lips.
He's this crazy guy, and he's a notorious sort of asshole, I guess. But he raced for many years. I raced against him in the World Championships in '93 in Coxside, where he was 2nd place as a first-year pro, and to have raced against him way back then, and then to have him here at this race again was pretty cool. And he's the most accomplished cyclocross racer of all time for Holland, and he's a national hero, and it was cool to have him there and to get the photo. Ella was in the pits again.
That child labor thing.
Yeah. This was after the race, doing the power wash. They had a super pro power wash set up. And then we went around the pits, and that's Lars Boom, who's the was world champion, current national champion for Holland, but he switched to the road, and he doesn't do cross anymore. But he came to this race to just race this race and the national champs, which were the following weekend. and he is a major celebrity in Europe. He's checking out his bikes, which were just sick. These custom giant carbon fiber things. And then there's Sally with Lars in the background, Rabobank team. Pretty cool photo. And we watched the women. This is Marianne Vos, who's the reigning world champ. She was there and she won for the ladies in the full white, the white tights. Of course, we got some frites with mayonnaise. Yep. Which Ella now eats on all our food at home.
Where's the mayo, Daddy?
There's other stuff.
Was that from Ella too? That's what Pete eats on all of his.
And the Americans, this is Yannick Ekman from Boulder. And he's another awesome junior rider from Colorado and someone to watch. And I don't know if he's at Worlds.
Yeah, he's actually, although I think he's on
The German.
team.
I don't think he's there.
No, he is. He's racing tomorrow for Germany.
Yeah, he's got dual with. I have no idea.
On my wheels.
All right.
He said that next year he would be American.
Okay. So
He's
yeah,
a-
he's there and he's racing for.
He's a top American junior, but he still has a German citizenship. His dad works for Pearl Izumi and I think came over here as part of the bike industry. He's a cool guy and a great rider.
Good kid.
And he races the road, so keep an eye. He races for 5280.
Bravo too.
Yep,
Slouch, his brother.
that's right. His brother's great. This is David Kessler from Louisville, I think. And he rides for Ben Turner's Cliff Bar Junior Development Team. He's a great rider as well. And then it was time to celebrate it, and this is one of my favorite meals of all time, which is steak and frites with béarnaise sauce. And that's since I was a little kid. My dad was a traveler, and he introduced me to this food. And this was my birthday, and we celebrated with steak and frites and some chimay.
Do you have enough béarnaise there?
Yeah, butter. Yeah, and that's it. That's the end of the show.